Okay, here we are for discipline number 7, working our way through these. And this is actually the first of two videos about the seventh discipline because this particular version, this is 7A, if you will. This version is for those of you who are taking the 10 disciplines class for the first time. It's really important that you do this discipline as deeply as you can. But once you've been through the class a couple of times, it's sort of like, haven't I already done this? So there's another version for those of you who want to go deeper around a more kind of generalized question of accountability. The concern about accountability is that for us to have genuinely healthy relationships, we have to be accountable within them. We have to create the quality of accountability. Now, remember, there is what we each do in the relationship, and then there's the relationship that we form. Together, we have created this relationship, and accountability can be a quality of that relationship if we're each showing up in such a way that we are choosing to be accountable. So this is about our own choice to be accountable in the context of our relationships with others. Second thing that we want to be emphasizing here is that the kinds of relationships, as much as possible, that we want to be able to produce are mutual relationships. Remember, there are three kinds of relationships. There's a fiduciary, one in which one party has rights because they're responsible for the well-being of another. Reciprocal relationships, where both parties have rights and responsibilities, but they kind of balance each other, as in making a contract. I want to hire you to do something, you're going to get paid to do it. So there's a reciprocity there. But the third kind, a mutual relationship, is one in which everyone within the relationship has the same rights and responsibilities. This makes it much more difficult to make decisions together because we have to be able to all engage in the decision-making process. But it also means that there's a greater opportunity for an appropriate and deep intimacy in mutual relationships. So we want to work towards mutual relationships. We want to be accountable in mutuality, which is basically the title of the second discipline, seventh discipline. This one is entitled the Statement of Accountability. Because what you're invited to do is to pick something that you have done in your life, a choice that you have made, which you regret because it was harmful to someone else. It's important that you think about what are the things that I've done that were harmful to someone else. We do things all the time that are harmful to someone else. It can be something small if you can't think of something big, but think of some choice that you regret that was harmful to someone else. It may be an event. It may be a condition within a relationship. One of the things that I regret is that when I remarried and brought 3 children into a new marriage with a woman who didn't have any kids, and thus made her a stepmom, I presumed that we would have equal authority in terms of parenting. Well, of course, I don't get to decide who has authority. My kids do. And so she was hobbled by the fact that she's just a stepmom, and they could say, well, who are you? You're not my mom. And I was not adequately mindful of her having less power in the relationship than I did. I presumed a level of mutuality that didn't really exist for her. And I deeply regret that because that was harmful all around. It was confusing for me. It was infuriating for her. The kids didn't quite know what was going on. So it wasn't just an event that happened. That was a condition that has only sort of relieved through the years. Now that we've been married over 30 years, my kids pretty well accept her and the authority that she has simply on the basis of their relationship with her, not because of anything that I was able to do. But the question that arises for us is, what are those things that we have done, either as an event or as a way we structured a relationship? What are the things that we have done that we regret? And if you can't think of anything that you regret, then we need to go back and work on that. Or if you don't think you ever did anything that was harmful to someone else, then you are sadly in denial. So pick one thing, and then for the purposes of this discipline, be really clear. What is the choice that you made that you regret? I chose to be mindless about the fact that, well, I knew that she was a stepmom and I was a dad. I knew that I had more power, but I really didn't appreciate the degree to which that was a problem for everyone, right? So what was the choice that I made? What are the consequences? The consequences are people being confused, people feeling oppressed, what are all of the things about the choice you made that you can see that are consequences primarily to others and to your relationships with others? The choice you made that you regret will have consequences to you too, but that's not primarily what we're looking at here. This is, how am I accountable? That is, how can I take into account the impact of the choices that I have made on others? Similarly, can I be mindful of how their choices may be in reaction to my choice? How do those impact me? And to be able to see what are the patterns of choosing that are revealed through this choice. Is there something about this choice that is like, oh yeah, I do this. This is something, there's a larger pattern here. What are those patterns? And then to be able to construct in our lives very specific strategies for how we're going to deal with these patterns. So, for example, one thing that many people discover is that they did something they regretted at a point when they were drunk. Okay, do I have a problem with alcohol? I'm an alcoholic. Maybe I need to be engaged in AA, in a program of recovery. Am I ignorant about certain things? Am I uninformed? So maybe the strategy is learning about something that could be critically important for me. So this seventh discipline has to do with picking something that we're working on, attending to what the consequences are of that, especially to others and to our relationships with others, to identify the patterns that contributed to making that choice or that pattern of choices, and then what are the strategies that I can put in place in my life right now so that I am minimally likely of doing that again. We may say about this choice, well, I would never do that again. Well, okay, good, but I would probably have said before I ever made that choice, oh, I would never make that choice. I certainly would have said about myself that I was very much aware of the fact that my wife as a stepmom would have less power than I did. I kind of theoretically knew it, but I didn't practically know it. So take this one really seriously and go as deeply as you can with it. And if you're going to do it, if you're going to take this class again, which I hope you do, many people find it helpful to take the 10 disciplines class over and over again. When you come back and do it again, you can do, if you don't want to do 7A again, you can do 7B. Okay? All right, thanks.